welcome everybody. And Annie, thank you for having us. My name is Sandy Foley, and I will be assisting Hetal in presenting the basics of Sitecore OrderCloud, going Mach 5 with Sitecore. And my background is that I've been a web developer for like ever, over 20 years. And I've been working with Sitecore applications since 2010. And for the last 7+ years, I have been working at Verndale as a technical architect. I am located in the United States, in the state of Michigan. And if you know your geography, you'll know that right now it's really, really cold here. And it is well below 0 Celsius with snow on the ground. And I have been a 5-time Sitecore Technologist MVP, and I just love spreading all the news about all things Sitecore. Hetal?
Hi, everyone. My name is Hetal Dave. I work at Verndale in the e-commerce practice team. I have been working with commerce projects and Sitecore almost 15, 16 years now. And I have been working with all sorts of commerce projects, including Microsoft Commerce Server, UCommerce, Inside Commerce, MediaChase, which is now Optimizely, and Sitecore Commerce, Sitecore Experience Commerce, and now exploring yet another commerce platform, OrderCloud, which is a little different than all these other commerce platforms that I've worked with over the years. And we will explore more about this platform. Sandy?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the agenda for today is that we'll give you a brief overview of MACH architecture just to catch everybody up. We think everybody on the line knows what it is, but just a quick review. And then we'll talk a little bit about an overview of the actors in OrderCloud and what makes it a little bit different. It's kind of the structure of everything. We'll show a couple of demos. First of all, I will be showing the demo of the OrderCloud portal and just walking you through that area. And then Hetal will be diving deep into OrderCloud Headstart, which is OrderCloud's starter site. After that, we'll give an evaluation, our own opinions of the product, and Hetal, especially with all of her knowledge, will be diving into that a little bit deeper. Okay, let's start off with the MACH architecture. Okay, as you know, this is a set of technology principles that are behind the best of breed technology platforms. So what does all that mean? Well, it's an acronym, and it's divided into 4 different categories. And OrderCloud exemplifies all four of these. First of all, microservices. This is a chance to plug and play, kind of a la carte, grab the applications that you want and use them together to deploy this independent system out there. They're loosely coupled, so you can, if you decide that you need more functionality, it's easy to bring it in. So this goes really well with the concept of composable DXP. So that whole composing what you want as your system, and OrderCloud is just another piece of that for Sitecore. API first, you'll be amazed, or I personally was amazed at how much functionality was exposed through the API for OrderCloud. And they definitely took an API first approach where let's expose this out and build the concept of the application behind these API calls. Not just putting a facade up front and hiding it from you and giving you a few options where there's so much more going on behind the scenes. The C stands for cloud, that we all know. A lot of services are going up into the cloud, and this allows you to keep your upgrades nice and nimble and be able to scale pretty easily when it's up in the cloud and managed by the people who know how to manage it. And finally, headless. That's been a buzzword for the past few years, especially with Sitecore and its headless JSS. And so this is the ability to separate the logic behind the scenes from the presentation, and diving into a lot of the JavaScript technologies. And it's not just JavaScript. You could use any other language. You can even use .NET for headless too. All right. And here, as we mentioned, there's a lot of actors within OrderCloud, and Hetal's going to talk a little bit about this slide to piece all of these actors together.
Cool. Thank you, Sandy. So as Sandy mentioned, this is one of the offerings from the Sitecore composable platform. It's cloud-based, SaaS-based platform that allows us to implement B2C and B2B solutions. Now, what makes OrderCloud, Sitecore OrderCloud different from other commerce platforms is other B2C platforms that we have probably worked over the years. If anyone attending had worked with commerce projects in past, there are different flavors of commerce. B2B, B2C, C2C, there is a supplier model as well. So OrderCloud supports all of them, but the base at the core of OrderCloud sits B2B, which gives this platform an advantage to start with, because B2B is rather more complex in terms of implementation and business protocols and processes than B2C. B2C is pretty straightforward. There is a business and there is a consumer. So people like me and you, when we buy something online, we are buying it from some business and we are the consumers. Straightforward. B2B, on the other hand, is when businesses are dealing with businesses. So we are talking about manufacturers, suppliers, distributors, networks, that kind of thing. And OrderCloud has full support for that type of business practices, which gives this platform an advantage. Now let's look at the diagram that we have in front of us. Since we prepared this presentation, these diagrams have been updated. Sitecore team has done excellent presentations, and I would recommend everyone to go on the YouTube Sitecore channel and check out some excellent OrderCloud presentations done by Sitecore product team on this. Coming back to this one, as I mentioned, B2C is what we are seeing in the green. There is a seller, there is a catalog, there is a pricing that is applied to products for that catalog, and people like me and you are users. So we buy stuff online from the seller. That's B2C. B2B is where there is a seller who is a business, and there is a buyer who is also a business, and they sell to end users. And that's where the hierarchy comes in play. Just to give you guys an example, since we are almost all of us in India, even I'm visiting India right now. Think of any big chains of store in India, and those stores would have suppliers or sellers or other brands that they sell products of. Imagine like a Star Bazaar or a big grocery chain selling Nestle products or Tata products. Those are business-to-business models. Now, a store manager somewhere in Mumbai wants to buy bulk of Nestle products. So they are a business, they are going to another business, and that they are actually not buying from Nestle directly. They are probably buying from a distributor of Nestle. So they can buy, but based on the hierarchical model that B2B provides, that store manager can only purchase for that store only. But then on top of that, there could be a regional manager that can purchase, bulk purchase items or products for a chain of stores within that region. And OrderCloud profile model supports all of that. The most interesting model, however, is the supplier model, where we are at the center, we have marketplace. Amazon would be one of the best examples when I think of marketplace, because Amazon has all that you can think of in terms of commerce. There are sellers selling to buyers like me and you. Then there are sellers selling to businesses. There are also suppliers who sell through Amazon. So that's what makes it interesting. So what is the supplier marketplace model? So supplier would be, so you would be purchasing a product on Amazon. And if you have ever noticed, sometimes when you are buying products from Amazon, you will see fulfilled by Amazon, or you will see buying option, or you would see available from these sellers. So those are actually suppliers for that product. So based on how the supplier and marketplace model is set up between those two entities, it is possible that supplier just gives the product or sells the product or puts the product on marketplace, and marketplace then fulfills the order, which would mean that when you purchase something, Amazon says that we are going to pick, pack, and ship this order. In other scenario, Amazon would be just providing an interface to place an order. And once an order is placed, Amazon will then forward that order to the supplier, and then supplier will be fulfilling the order. So those are the scenarios where you would see that this order is fulfilled by so-and-so. So that's the supplier model. OrderCloud supports that model out of the box. All the functionality that you need is already there, which makes OrderCloud a very advantageous platform in terms of providing complete suite of B2B model that can easily extend it to B2C. Sandy?
Thanks, Hetal. That was a good overview. Okay, now I'll jump into the first demo, which is the portal demo. I don't want to be in Postman quite yet. Okay, so as I mentioned on the mock screen, the OrderCloud is up in the cloud. And in order to get access, you need to sign up. You can see you can sign up for free with different accounts. I signed up directly with my email address. Once you're signed in, that exposes you to become part of a team, an OrderCloud team, or be invited as a team into a marketplace, or it can allow you to be an individual contributor who is invited into someone else's marketplace. I'm going to log in. And you're taken to this dashboard, which has a lot of information in it. It's actually quite simple, that it constitutes what's here on the left, and then you have your major screen. Up here, these are links to the outer world, and links that you'll also find at ordercloud.com as well. So it's a great opportunity for you to learn. They have a very robust set of tutorials and very detailed instructions on setting everything up. Speaking of which, if you noticed back when we were introducing ourselves, you could hear Hetal's enthusiasm and her experience on all things commerce. And when I was speaking, yes, I have a lot of Sitecore experience, but virtually no commerce experience. The reason that Hetal and I decided to team up was because I saw how incredibly easy it was to learn OrderCloud. Excuse me. And 1 second. Got a little frog in my throat. And all of the tutorials and then the knowledge base and the developer tools, everything is so well built out that it's really, me presenting is a testament to how wonderful and how easy how small the learning curve is when you're working with the console itself. Lots of good information up here, and then little community forums as well. A very strong community. So the dashboard that we're on right now is made up of an alert area, as well as a API console. It will list, this is where we'll spend the majority of our time, but it'll list all of the recent activity that has occurred, so you can easily jump to that. So we'll see that the tabs over under the API console. And then off to the right, it's a quick snapshot of what marketplaces you're a part of. Okay, and this is the Marketplace tab, is a place where you can dive in and see various information about your marketplace. When you go inside the marketplace, you have some general settings, and then you also have a list of contributors here. The list of contributors is a flattened view of all the people that have been provided individual user access and or all the people that are part of the team access. So as I mentioned on the login screen, you could be grouped up into a team and invited together. What that means is all of the people that are grouped into a team can be assigned one set of roles. You can see I love this, how exposed the roles are and how easy it is to go in and select the ones that you want. Just really super easy to see these, and then if this is too detailed, you can even filter them. So super smart interface, I think, for this. And the same type of interface is available for when you're inviting users. So on this screen, you can invite new users. All you need to know is their email address that they signed up on. And then over here, you can send an invite to a group of people to bring them in. For all of these, you have the option of this impersonation, which is really cool. Within the API console, there is a section that lets you see the view of the marketplace from a different perspective. So you could look at it from a seller, buyer, or supplier perspective, even though maybe you're the admin. So this is a really cool feature that we'll see exactly where it's set up over there. Okay, under teams, this is a list of teams that have been invited to this particular, or I'm sorry, this is a list of teams that you are a part of here. And then under settings, this is basic settings, authentication, and profile settings. So let's jump into the meat, which is the API console. So the API console is what it sounds like. It's a list of API calls that you can make. They are configured and grouped together in these groups. We have the authentication and authorization API calls. We have some for sellers, some for the buyers, suppliers, and then API calls about product and product catalogs, orders and fulfillment. And then down here we have me and my stuff. This is where the impersonation comes in. So this, as I mentioned, if you're an admin or some other role other than what you want to view, you can turn on impersonation, and then that impersonation role that you take on will then be reflected in this. So this is quite virtual for the My items. I'm going to take a look at the products just to give a little dip into how the API looks and works. So here, under products, you can see all of the different functionality of how you can act on a product or with a product. You know, you've got your create, read, update, delete, got your lists, removing, and then you also have things like product variants and product suppliers available, all tucked under there, under this level. Let's first start off and see what get a list of products would look like. So what I really like about this is that it exposes what you would do out in the real world in your code to get a list of products. It shows you exactly what is needed here. So all I'm going to do is execute this command, and I see a list of my products over here. And in my marketplace, I am selling t-shirts, something very simple. You can see under the name all of my different names of my t-shirts. Up above, it will provide me with a count of how many I have. I currently have 9 t-shirts in here, and it gives a bunch of different information in here. So let's say I wanted to create a new product. I can go to this post command, and it provides me with a post for /products. I can fill in each of these. So let's say I'm going to do a checkered shirt. I have to be very inventive. Provide a description, and we can see that the name is their only required field. There's a lot of different bit of information that you can provide if the shipping size and weight is important. And you can make it active or not. I'm going to say it's active. You can notice as I'm typing in or as I'm working, this little JSON frame it adjusts accordingly. So I'm going to have introduce a new checkered shirt that is active, and I'll send that in, and it comes over and shows you exactly what got submitted into the system. So this is good feedback to see all of the nulls and such. And if I wanted to go in and make do a quick update, I can go in here and let's see, let me grab the ID of this. And I have the ID, and I'm going to change it so it is no, oops, the product, oops, I'm sorry, I pasted it in the wrong place. There we go. So it tells you everything that you need to know. In here, I'm grabbing the ID, and then I'm going to change active is false. I gotta grab more required fields. It's very, very helpful. All right. And now we can see that the checkered shirt is active is equal to false. If we wanted to add in another, let me grab, I have some preset JSON. So I'm going to create a new product. And I have built out the JSON separately off screen. And let me paste that in here. Here I'm going to be creating a crop top. And we'll submit that. And here's the end result. And let's get a list of products. And from this list, it used to be 9, and now you can see that it's 11. So super duper easy. It tells you exactly what the parameters are. If you're working out in your code and you're wondering exactly what everything means, this is a chance for you to go in and and issue it directly into the system as a sample, and then you can take that back into your code. So I found that really helpful. Another thing that's delivered with OrderCloud is a Postman API exercise. So this is a nice array of showing you those same calls that are out into the real world in Postman. So you have all of the very similar categories that existed for within the portal itself. And I'm going to open up the products and catalogs, and I can see that I can create products. This is an example that shows you creating, looks like a coffee house, where it's demonstrating how to create all of these products. I'm just going to go out and get a list of the products. And there you go. You can see here are my t-shirts. So what I have is I'm connected to the same marketplace, and I am pulling back that very same information. The base API URL, if you mouse over it, you can see that I'm calling the same sandbox out there. And I'm getting a list of my products here. So as a non-commerce person, you can see how easy it is for someone, a developer, to pick this up and to be able to have these resources readily available, so when they're coding, they know they can go back and lean on examples if they want, or use them and then use them as models for their coding. Okay. And in summary of the OrderCloud portal, I just would like to show you the different APIs and how they're structured. We have the security, the impersonation is grouped under this DXP APIs, and then product catalogs and products and orders and fulfillment are grouped under the ordering APIs. And then the administrative of the buyers and sellers and the suppliers are grouped under the domain APIs. This is a helpful little screen just to show you the breakdown of what's going on in OrderCloud. Next, we'll have a little bit of a talk about Headstart, which is OrderCloud's starter kit.
Cool. So before I share my screen, I would just like to briefly describe each of these applications. So Headstart is OrderCloud's starter kit in true sense. If many of us are familiar with Sitecore Habitat solution, they specifically say that do not use Sitecore Habitat as a starter kit. It's just a reference of best practices with regards to Helix that Sitecore recommends. So it must not be used as starter kit. Headstart is different. So unlike Habitat that we are all familiar with, OrderCloud Headstart is actually starter kit. And it kind of reminds me the way I used to work with Microsoft Commerce Server projects. Back in 2007, 2008, when I was working with Commerce Server projects, Commerce Server also came, like when you would install Microsoft Commerce Server, you would also have a starter site. And what that starter site would have is almost all the components with regards to product browsing, shopping cart, checkout, any of the commerce membership baked in as well, so that you can create commerce users and test your changes. And basically you have basic setup of guest checkout or authenticated or signed in users or membership checkout, that kind of thing. Headstart is similar. It's divided into two main sections, or I should say two separate applications. One is the middleware, which is the backbone in a way, which is the headless API architecture that Sandy was just showing us on the OrderCloud interface. Basically what you are seeing there is what's being communicated from middleware to OrderCloud. You can even use the Postman collection that Sandy just showed us to even seed your starter solution and then update from there on, or even use it for just for learning. So not only Headstart provides you with a starter kit, but Headstart also comes with a seed solution that you can actually just run and have a catalog set up for you, have some buyer profiles, seller profiles set up for you, so that you can just play around. And when you are ready, or whenever you start working on a project, you can actually start from Headstart being your base. Middleware would be a backend where you would deal with all sorts of business logics, implementer integration events, and I'll come to it what integration events are. But that's what middleware is, and it's a ASP.NET Core application. Buyer and seller are the front-end applications. So by virtue of them being front-end applications means this is just a start. You can throw these applications away and completely build your own from scratch, utilizing middleware as your backend solution. And I would strongly recommend to check out the Headstart solution before as part of your learning path into OrderCloud. And I would show you how you can set it up. Now, when you review how to set up Headstart, you will see a documentation that you need to set up a bunch of things in Azure, and that's where some cost gets involved. It's not essential for a developer setup, but the way Headstart setup is documented itself mentions that how you can set up different environments up to production. So Headstart is meant to be used as starter kit, and the code, especially in the middleware, is pretty impressive. So please start with Headstart and so forth, so you will understand the architecture way better. So first you will have to have an account set up on the OrderCloud portal, and I will show you where that is. If you want to provision Azure resources, you can, or as I mentioned, you can just configure on-premise resources. And then you will configure the front end, then you would validate your setup, and then you can start playing around with it. Now I'm going to share my screen so that I can show you how that solution looks like. Okay, so as I was mentioning that there is a backend solution and then there is a front-end solution. So you would see that the front-end solution has buyer. So whatever changes you need to make in terms of buyer-specific logic, front-end logic, you will make that here. Then there is SDK. So one thing, and sorry, before we go to SDK, so there is a buyer front-end application, there is seller front-end application. So these two are basically websites. So the buyer storefront, as they refer to it, is the website. So whenever you are working on an OrderCloud application or OrderCloud project, the buyer front-end application that you are seeing is the website that the users will see, the end users, whether they are B2B or B2C consumers, they will see that site. The seller application is something that we would refer to as a typical platform application. So think of Sitecore Commerce. So you can sign in to Sitecore and then you can go on to the commerce application. This is that application. So if I were to show you a quick difference, so this is the seller application. So you can see that it's within the Sitecore. You sign in as admin, or you are a seller admin. And let me see, I might need to sign back in. My session might have timed out. Give me 1 sec. And as you can see, I can, as a seller, or think of someone as a marketing manager or content author signing in from Sitecore interface. This is that application to maintain and manage backend processes like products, orders, buyers, suppliers. storefronts, or if somebody's, so all this is already built in for you. And Headstart comes with two flavors. One is AngularJS, so you can use that. And there is another one available as well with Next.js. You can use that one as well, because some people are more familiar with React and Next.js kind of front-end framework. You can choose to use that application. But comparing the AngularJS front-end applications with Headstart and Next.js, Angular one is kind of more mature. I think if I remember correctly, the one with Next.js has only buyer storefront. It doesn't have the seller admin. So you could still use Next.js, but set up Angular as well to use Angular as your reference. But it is available to you. So I can go here and look at all the products as a seller admin. I can even create a new product. So I have different type of products. These two products that you are seeing are the two custom products that I have been playing with, and I have set it up. So OrderCloud also supports this type of product. So subscription product is something that we could refer to as a recurring order or subscription of some sort. And that subscription could be for physical products or digital products. Membership product is just purchasing membership. Based on the level of membership that you are purchasing, you can then tie discounts or special pricing to that membership level, and you can set up pricing schedules to show the prices according to the membership level of that user. So these are the two things that I'm kind of playing with right now, just to see how far I can get without doing too much of customization. But you have quote product. So these two are typical B2B product types. Standard product is any product that anybody can purchase. Quote product is something that you will see specifically for B2B setup. And as I mentioned earlier, all these three standard quote and purchase order products are already set up for you in Headstart. You can customize these product definitions as per your client's needs, but you have these products available. Now, what are these products? Just a brief introduction. Standard product is any product that you buy, a bicycle, a shirt, bread, milk. Those are the standard products. What is a quote product? Quote product is in a B2B scenario, you will create, you can actually request a quote, and a B2B seller can actually set up a quote for you specifically and then send it to you, and you can then decide whether you want to move forward with the order or not. So that's what that is. And purchase order product is a product that can be only purchased through invoice, and that is also another typical B2B scenario where an order is placed. You don't make any payments until you receive the invoice. So this is that type of product. So you can create new products, you can update products. Now, typically, we are seeing these here that yes, you can do that. But based on my experience, most of the time you will have some sort of integration to a PIM, product information management system, that would just pull in products into OrderCloud. So based on your client's needs, you may or may not have much use of creating a new product, but you can do all sorts of, excuse me, you can do all sorts of things here. You can set up pricing. You can add a new break, which means that I have set it up at $11.99. I can add a new break and say that if somebody buys two, the price will be $8.99. So it's like you buy more, you pay less per unit kind of thing. You can also upload product images and documents would be like maybe some sort of manuals or anything like that. You can upload those here. You can upload images as well to products. And again, as I said, in most scenarios, this probably would come from the product information management system, but you have that available. I can also look at the orders. placed by the consumers. I can also see the status of those orders. And even though most of these backend processes are done in a more automated fashion, business users do have flexibility or ability to actually create shipment of these particular orders. And once the shipment is created, the order is set to completed out of the box. You can change that if you want, but all of this is available to you out of the box using Headstart. And that would be seller admin. Just a brief tip, when you are setting up front-end applications, the first thing you would do is build SDK. You don't need to run SDK. SDK is the framework at core that is shared between both buyer and seller. So you would basically build the SDK, then you will build and run the buyer application, and then you will build and run seller application, not in any specific order. You can choose whichever one to build and run first. That's the front end. Now, if I can share my Visual Studio, which I think is not going to be possible. So let me see if I can just show you. I really wanted to show you guys the code, but let's see here. So middleware, so UI is what we were seeing here. And then we have middleware. In middleware, we have source, and then we have Headstart API and Headstart Common. And as I was mentioning that you can even set it up on-premise. When you want to set it up on-premise, you would set up everything in the appsettings.json file. The reason I'm not going too much into architecture is I just want every engineers or developers on this call to have a step in the door just to get going, that what is it that I need to do. Now this appsettings.json is available. You would need to only make minor changes, but it is available for you to get going when you pull the repository down and start setting things up. And here you will see in controllers, you have buyer controller, catalog controller, credit card. So everything is already done for you. You only need to understand your client's needs and make necessary customizations. I really wish I could show the Visual Studio, but never mind. Now we look at the website. And as I mentioned, we had to do minimal changes in the UI application. We didn't have to do update any HTML markup or anything like that. All the views and design is available out of the box in Headstart. Let's see. Now let's see if I can go back here. And let's say I add this one to cart. Now another thing I wanted to show you guys is, let me actually sign out and sign back in. Okay. So interesting thing to notice here is, here you don't see add to cart button, but here you do, and there is no logic at play. This is available. This is also available out of the box. So when would this happen? When a product doesn't have a variant, but it's a flat product itself is a sellable unit, you will see add to cart on the buyer storefront. But when a product has further option that you need to choose from to actually get to a sellable unit, the add to cart button will automatically not displayed. So now if I go to the product details page here, and as I mentioned again, Everything here you are saying is out of the box. We didn't have to make any changes. We just set up the data and it's showing. So as you can see, I have to make a choice whether I want to buy the poster in the Spanish language or English language, or do I want to buy English poster with laminated frame or Spanish poster with laminated frame. And all of these options you can set up in OrderCloud. So now I can add this product to cart here. Now this is out of the box. If your client had a need and if you want to reduce the number of clicks, maybe you can just have a quick view button here and somebody can click on that, choose the options and add to cart from this page. But this is just like a visual difference that why you don't have add to cart here and why you have one here. So if I add the product to cart, it's added. I can now go to checkout. Uh-oh. Okay, let's see. Let's see how far we can go. This should work. Okay. Let me see. Oh, I have a problem. Then I don't think is going to be resolved. But you can place order. I can show you. I'm sorry, I couldn't. I wish I could show you all through the checkout, but so I can, let me sign in as a user who has placed more orders than one. I think it's this guy. Now, another interesting thing you are seeing here is orders placed by me. That is also a B2B scenario. So if I am at a higher hierarchy, if I'm a store manager, I will see only orders placed by me. But if I'm a regional manager, not only I can see orders that were placed by me, but I will also be able to see orders that were placed by individual store managers. So this is another B2B scenario. But again, if you are only developing the B2C, you can customize all of it. But Headstart has almost all B2B features available to you. So if I go click on this, I will be able to see all the orders that I have placed. And now if I go to seller admin and find one of these orders and create the shipment and everything, if I come back here in real time, that order status will be updated. I can even, let me actually close this. I can even mark orders as favorite and then sort them by just show me my favorite orders, and it will only show the favorite orders. And then I can select an individual order and I can simply reorder. And all of this is available out of the box in Headstart. And these are all very typical profile functionalities. It's maybe sometimes it's like reorder will be typically a B2B thing because they prepare an order and they just want to repeat that order a couple of months down the road. They can just go to that order and just click on reorder. On a B2C scenario, you might not see this as much. You probably would just see the order history feature, which is also available to you here. I wish I could show you guys the checkout, but unfortunately it's throwing some sort of errors. Let's try one more time before. Oh, nope, it's not happy with me today. No, it's not gonna work. I would need to troubleshoot this. Sorry, guys. But all the integration points are already available in the middleware application. A credit card, for shipping calculations, for shipping address validations, for payments. You have also all of those integrations in place for you in the integration. Since it's not working, let me just close Visual Studio. and see if I can just reopen it and show you guys. Come on. Wow. Okay. Sandy, would you have Visual Studio open by any chance, just to show them the?
I don't have
That's
the
fine.
order. Yeah.
Not a problem. Yeah, my machine is just not behaving right now.
Yeah.
But okay, let me at least show you something. Okay, so before I hand it back to Sandy, I just wanted to mention integration events that you can implement. So basically, what are integration events? So integration events is a basic example. One of the example would be estimating shipping cost. So it is possible that you are actually using a third-party shipping provider that you need to make a call to, that gives you some result back, and then you want to come back to OrderCloud or your application and show the estimated shipping for the consumer. And that's the error I'm getting right now. For some reason, my integration event is failing, and I can show you where those are. And you would typically see those in the buyer. Suppliers, buyers, seller, sorry. It would be under the higher up. Close that. Okay, here. So if I get the integration event, as you can see, I've been playing with some. So estimated shipping is the one is failing for me right now, so that I need to troubleshoot that one, what happened with that one. But estimated shipping basically gives me the estimated shipping cost based on the shipping provider that I have implemented. And the way you would set that up, just a tip, how you would set that up is, as you can see, there is a custom implementation URL that you are seeing here. So this is basically, I have fired up ngrok, and then using ngrok, I then have a publicly accessible URL that I would provide here, and then I'll be able to test my integration event locally. Another example of an integration event would be some sort of backend process, like providing the detail once the order is placed, syncing that order automatically to ERP system. That would also be an integration event, and those are available to you. And you can update integration event. You can create new integration event as you need using OrderCloud. It also provides webhooks. The basic difference between integration events and webhooks is webhooks you would only use when you want to directly do something with the OrderCloud database, any of the CRUD operations. That's when you would use webhooks. Otherwise, you would use integration events. You also have proxy extensions with which you can implement OrderCloud custom logic. All of that is available to you. The documentation is excellent, so I would recommend to set up Headstart. Even if you are not working on a project like an Sitecore OrderCloud project, just set up Headstart and you would learn a lot. I'm going to stop sharing, Sandy. Back to you.
Okay. Annie, if you
I wish I could have shown the whole checkout thing. That would have been super awesome, but for some reason, it didn't work.
I actually liked seeing the integration events behind the scenes. I think that was had a lot of meaning to it as well. So, but thank you for the demo. Okay, we're going to wrap it up with an evaluation from both of us. Mine's going to be rather simple. As I mentioned, I'm not a commerce person, but I am a technical architect who leads a team of engineers. And if I were leading a commerce project, which is highly unlikely, but if I were and had that knowledge, I would be comfortable handing off some of the tasks, the setup tasks for the project to an engineer with the confidence that they'll be able to pick it up rather easily. And so that's my perspective on it, but the true evaluation of the product would come from Hetal.
Thank you, Sandy. So as Sandy mentioned, personally, I have struggled over the years. Every time I am starting to work on a commerce project, I actually have to explain the concepts to the team, what the commerce concepts are. Of course, it's always good to know some of the basic e-commerce concepts, just to understand when we are purchasing something, what goes on behind the scene. And it's all very exciting and useful information, but we don't have that luxury of time every time when we are working on a project. We just get thrown into projects. So I have struggled over the years. So whenever I would hand off things to engineer, I would have to explain the platform to them, like make them understand the API. And then at times we even work with them one-on-one, maybe even do some parallel programming sessions, just so that we can get the work done. And that takes away a lot of time when we are, especially when you are leading multiple projects. With OrderCloud, what I have seen, and thanks to Sandy, it has been sort of like a first-hand experience that Sandy and I started working on this together just to understand what OrderCloud is. And I could see how easy it was for her to navigate around, like without even caring about understanding the e-commerce aspects or concepts. She could just look at the OrderCloud API that we were seeing on the console, on the API console, download the Postman collection and just troubleshoot, just firing up one of those endpoints, even setting things up. She just doesn't have to understand what e-commerce is or what a product is. All she had to worry about, I'm making an XYZ call and this is the JSON I'm expecting and this is the format I'm supposed to get that JSON in. If something is wrong, all I care about is that JSON. And that makes an engineer's job, not only an engineer's job, more efficient and easy, but also the leads who are kind of leading the projects and working with engineers to get those projects and tasks done. So that's one thing I've noticed. Another thing is the flexibility of architecture. As I mentioned, that Headstart has Next.js, Angular. You can have another C# application if you want. It's completely language agnostic. And you can have the middleware integration to that front-end application, and it's going to work because it's merely endpoints that communicate to middleware endpoints and integration. So architecture is pretty flexible. So far, we have noticed that is performant as well. We haven't implemented any customization or search or anything, but the facets, whenever I'm searching for a product, and again, our catalog is pretty small right now, but the performance has been not too bad. Of course, as engineers and architects, when we are working on a production launch, we are going to consider a lot more than a demo that we are seeing right now. Plus, the Headstart solution is very well structured. You have a common project, you have an API project, and you have an integrations project. So it's very well structured, very easy to follow. You can simply, whenever you need to troubleshoot, you simply set a breakpoint and you are able to navigate fairly easily in the project. And again, it all comes down to the need of knowing the platform to be able to work on a project. And I think Sitecore OrderCloud helps a great deal with that challenge in particular. Sandy?
Okay, thanks, Hetal. As we close out our presentation, we would like to offer some special thank yous to people who have helped us along the way. That includes Christian Ramirez, who has been working with OrderCloud even prior to its acquisition from with Sitecore. He is an excellent resource, very knowledgeable, and also very helpful. Hetal can attest to that. At the very beginning, last year about this time, when this was just a concept for Hetal and I to dive into, maybe a couple months, maybe 10 months ago, Himadri has this blog and this video that walks you through every single step of the process. And he's not talking, he puts it to this beautiful music that almost lulled me to sleep, but it was very interesting at the same time just to see his flow of all the steps that he went through. And last but not least, we'd also like to thank Jake Holcomb, who is the VP of Commerce and Analytics at Sitecore. We've borrowed a couple of his slides because they exemplified OrderCloud in the best manner. We also have this set of helpful links. If you'd like to take a screenshot of this might be very helpful. It shows you where the portal is, where the API actually lives, and Headstart as well. And then off to the right, this is how you could contact any of us, or either of us. Hetal being the expert on commerce, I know that she's definitely approachable and answers very quickly and is always willing to help out. As am I, however, when it comes to deep, dark commerce talk, that wouldn't be my area of expertise, but everything else, Sitecore, give me a ring. All right, do we have any questions? Is there anything else you would like us to, is there anything confusing that you want us to go over again, or any questions that you have?
Feel free to unmute yourselves if there are any questions. Cool. Sounds like we are good. If anyone does have any questions, as Sandy mentioned, feel free to reach out to either of them, Hetal or Sandy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll get back.
Even if any one of you is trying to set up Headstart and you need a hand, just ping me on Slack or LinkedIn. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm sure everyone found that really helpful. Thank you especially for that evaluation. That's very, experience specific. So I'm sure that was very valuable to most. So thanks again for taking the time, Hetal and Sandy.
Thank you for having us.
Great session.
And I want to say hi to Sanjay. I see you out there, Sanjay. We'll connect soon. He's my mentee.
Oh, that's nice.
Hey, Sandy, I really like the presentation around the OrderCloud. It's really very interesting. Yeah.
Great.
Awesome. Any questions you have, Sanjay, feel free to reach out to me or Sandy.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Have a nice rest of your weekend, everybody. Thank you again, Annie, for letting us present. We appreciate it.
Thank you for taking the time. Thanks everyone who joined as well. We'll be sharing the video on the YouTube channel soon. So thanks everyone. Have a good rest of your weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.